YouTube, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back for today's episode and best bets in the NCAA Tournament first four games. We are finally here. The big dance is officially starting, and we're getting it kicked off in Dayton. We have UMBC, and we have Howard. What do you know? Two programs, two schools, straight out of my neck of the woods. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've been following these programs or watching these programs, even though they're from my backyard. But believe it or not, there is an edge in this game. This line right now is sitting at UMBC minus 1.5 points. Statistically speaking, based on metrics, UMBC is probably the more balanced team. They're a top 100 team offensively, and they're a top 50 team in the nation defensively when you're purely discussing points per possession, whether that's offensively or points per possession given up defensively. The issue that I have with this UMBC team, their strength of schedule is incredibly weak. They haven't faced and played a ton of good opponents this season. The strength of schedule for Howard is significantly better than that of UMBC. What you're going to get with this Howard team, and where they really hang their hat on, is you're getting a team defensively that is an elite defensive unit. This Howard team ranks second in the country in points per possession allowed. Ultimately, what this game is going to come down to is UMBC's offense going to be able to play at the tempo, at the pace, and at the efficiency that they're accustomed to playing against a far superior defense than they're used to going up against. In my opinion, when I'm breaking this game down and I'm looking at how these two teams match up against one another, I think you're going to see a Howard defense that is going to be able to strap, lock in, and dominate on that side of the ball that few teams that UMBC has faced up against this season have been able to do. I think that's going to be the undoing for UMBC tonight, and it's ultimately the reason why I'm going with Howard as a 10-star play plus 1.5 points to most likely win this game outright and advance in the NCAA tournament. With that said, one little caveat that I do want to add in there. The one thing that this Howard team really struggles with, and it could be their undoing tonight, and I'll get into why I'm still backing Howard in just a second, it's turning the ball over. I very seldomly back teams on this channel that turn the ball over at the rate that Howard does. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Howard team that turns the ball over upwards of 275th in the country. That's a massive concern going into this game. If Howard's going to turn the ball over 15 plus times tonight, absolutely positively, UMBC is going to be in this game, and they're going to be giving themselves a chance to win this game and advance. However, the reason why I'm not as reluctant to back Howard with those underlying statistics of turning the ball over is because at the end of the day, UMBC isn't a team that forces a ton of turnovers. This is a team that ranks 250th in the country in turnovers generated defensively. I firmly believe this game ultimately is going to come down to the Howard defense and UMBC's inability to turn the ball over from Howard. And if that does happen, rest assured, Howard will win this game if both those things go in their favor, rather convincingly, in my opinion. As I mentioned already, give me Howard, 10-star play to win this game outright as my first bet in the NCAA tournament. Second leg in this first four game on Tuesday night. I don't have an opinion in this game. I do have an opinion. I don't have a bet on this game. You have Texas and you have NC State. This is an intriguing game, guys. Both of these teams play very, very similarly. These are teams that love to get up and down the court. These are teams that love to shoot the three ball. These are teams that love to play offensively. There's going to be points scored in this game. However, neither one of these teams like to play any defense. Texas's three-point defense is very near the bottom of the entire country. Opponents are shooting above 40% behind the line. You would say, well, let's go ahead and back NC State then. And I kind of do lean NC State here in general. However, the reason why I'm not backing NC State is because opponents are shooting over 40% from three ball against NC State as well. Ultimately, what this game is going to come down to is three-point variance. This game is as cut and dried as can be. Which team is going to shoot the three ball better? We talk about it on this channel a lot. When you put role players in a neutral court environment, it's a little bit of luck on which three-point shooters are going to show up and which ones aren't. That's why I don't have a huge take on this game. This line right now is sitting at Texas minus 1.5. As I mentioned a few moments ago, I lean towards NC State shooting the ball a little bit better, being a little bit more efficient offensively and taking care of the ball better. However, the variance behind the three-point line is just so unpredictable. I don't see a huge edge in this game. I think NC State overall is probably a slightly better team in my opinion, but I just don't see a big enough edge for me to sit here and tell you guys back NC State, they're going to win this game with a ton of confidence. And because of that, I will tell you guys my honest opinion, which is just lay off the game, stay away, watch it, enjoy your winnings from Howard earlier in the slate, because we are going to bang on Howard tonight. With that said, guys, as always, thanks for watching the videos. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll be back tomorrow for more first four winners. And then, of course, we'll be back on Thursday for the official, in my opinion, beginning of the big dance.